This is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Currently on No Other Pod on Kansas City Sports Network. It's the premiere of the season. We're the premier podcast covering the premier season at this new stadium. Guys, I'm Daniel Kooser. This is Chris Wright. We were at the game Saturday, and boy, oh boy, do we got some stuff to talk about. Chris, hello, good buddy. What's going on? Have you rested up since our adventures on Saturday?
I have rested. I'm still on cloud 9. I mean, all the Kansas City soccer teams won. So, lots of love right now, man. Lots of love.
Pretty wild. We went to both games, obviously. I was fully set up for a sporting loss that night. I was like, you know what? KC current won. I can't be spoiled. I can't be a spoiled little brat. I can't expect a victory here, but it happened. And now I'm convinced both teams are just going to the ship. They're going to go all the way. Guys, we're going to talk about our experiences from sun up to sundown. We're going to talk about the roster construction that we witnessed, the powerful subs that we witnessed, all the way down to almost a late game collapse. There's a story to be told here, and we're going to dive into every inch of it. Before we do, though, I do want to note real quick, buddy, that Daniel Gooden left us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Read it yesterday on No Other Pod. Had good things to say about both the pods. He says, I listen for all my current coverage and sporting coverage from these two podcasts. So we're doing good things over here. Just thought you should know.
Daniel, appreciate it.
Daniel's no Daniels, I'll tell you that. Dude, okay. This was a noon o'clock game. We're going to dive right in because there's a cavalcade of things to talk about here. We got out there. What time did you leave the house? Do you remember?
Oh my, we left probably about 8:30.
Okay. Yeah. What was your parking situation like?
So we parked basically adjacent to River Market, just right on the downtown side. It's literally right across that bridge. And we paid $10 for parking, and then $10, yeah, just pulled right in, $10.
Not
not 50. We actually drove into the River Market to see if we could park there. But it was a little congested, so we just turned right back around. Found $10 parking. The shuttle was parked right next to our parking lot. So we literally parked, walked for about 15 seconds, got on the shuttle, right to the stadium.
Pretty great. So you were there for I didn't make it for for all the pregame festivities, like before the gates open. Were you there for that little mini train sesh?
No, we got there and there was a pretty good sized crowd, so we really didn't get to see much. But yeah.
So you missed the Mahomes' talking. You didn't witness that at all either.
Nope, missed out on that barely. But
that's all right. That's all right. Well, that's cool, man. We got there. We got there about 10:30 or so, I think, 10:45, and you gotta do that lap around the stadium, right? You get in there, you gotta check everything out. Not a big stadium. A lap. The only reason it takes a little while is because there's a little congestion on the sides. I'm not going to be a totally negative Nancy here because there's good things and then there's little nitpicky things, right? So any bad thing I mention here, it's totally nitpicky because overall this is a net positive in my opinion. Everything from the concessions to the 45-minute line for the merch store. Dude,
45-minute popcorn wait, if that was your thing.
Outrageous, man. People got eyes on that bucket that said inaugural season. I thought about it too, and I was like, feel like we need that popcorn bucket because we got a little nostalgia popcorn machine in our basement, and I was like, that would be dope sitting right next to it. You know, Marissa goes and gets in line for the popcorn at halftime, saw the line, and was like, I'm not missing the game for this. As she came right back. If she didn't come right back, she would have missed about 5 goals in the second half or whatever it was. Just a wild time, man. Did you eat anything there?
I did not.
Not this time.
I looked around. There was a pretty good line. And then once my hunger left me. Once my hunger left me, you mentioned that you did mobile order. And I was like, oh, I should have done that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in alignment with you. The stadium is kind of intimate, right? It's not very big. You're close to the field. And every little quirk I might complain about, it's small, in the scheme of things. like you mentioned, the walkways were a little narrow, but it didn't help that everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's walking around, everybody's looking around, everybody's exploring, and people are walking slower. So that obviously added to some of the congestion.
Yeah, it gave me like theme park vibes at one time, like trying to walk through congestion, find your open avenues, your open lanes to cut through and around people and stuff.
Tilting to the side, just trying to get around any way you can.
Normally, gosh, Marissa and I have gone to Disney a time or two, and we're always, I say a time or two, we've gone many times. And I kind of lead the way like a linebacker, man, and she just follows. She's like, you do you, and I'm right behind you. And that's kind of how it felt at times, but not the end of the world. When it comes to food, you got to go to the healthy places because ain't nobody in line for those. I was over at Billy's Grocery, and the line was not long at all, but I was like, I'm just going to do the mobile ordering because I don't want to stand in line at all. So I'm kind of standing back. I do the mobile ordering. Instantly, it's like your order's ready. I mean, instantly, like 2 seconds. And I see the lady like pulling my salads out of the fridge. I'm like, cool. And we just jump the line and pick up all our stuff. Probably about 10 people in line, which is very small when you go look at that taco place. Tortilleria? Is that what that's called? YOLO?
Yoli's Tortilleria, I think, yeah.
YOLO. But dude, it was good. It was a good salad. Like any stadium food, though, I mean, it's not worth what you pay for it, in my opinion. There's a surcharge for that kind of thing, but you got to try it, or that kind of stuff won't be around. If you do
support it, right? It's local. Yeah. They're probably paying a good amount of money to be there.
Yes,
can support it, right?
I've heard so many times from different people, like, oh, I can't believe that place is leaving. And I'm like, well, did you support it? Did you ever go there? And they're like, no, I never got a chance. And it's like, you're a fucking problem, dude. Like,
there you go. That's why
you got to support, man. Especially with people with like dietary restrictions, gluten-free, vegan. Eat that shit up, man, because it's there for you guys. So that all happened before the game. We did our laps. We hung out in our seats, which, by the way, man, these seats, we were a little concerned that they might be a little shallow. You know, not a lot of depth there. Knees were going to be in the back of people's shoulders. And that wasn't true. I'm a large man, and I felt fine. I didn't have to man spread or anything like that. I felt very comfortable. You too?
Yeah. We actually, when we went to the sporting game later that night, it felt like we had more room at CPKC.
Yeah. Sporting puts that cup holder on the back of seats, and I was like, oh, this doggone cup holder. CPKC didn't have a cup holder, and it was glorious. But, dude, it was very comfortable. The seats were in the upper level, and I'll tell you one thing, it doesn't feel like upper level, quote unquote. You're right there in the action. I can't. What if you had to say like a yard line or so? Where are our seats at?
About
like 45,
45, yeah, something like that. We're in the section right next to the center.
What letter are we on? You know, our whole side of the stadium spells out current, and I'm trying to do the math. Like, what letter are we in? You know what I mean?
Probably the R.
The second R?
Yeah, probably second R.
Probably. It's something to think about. I just look at it. I want to be able to tell people like, yeah, we're in that second R or the U or something, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just not really sure yet. So we'll figure it out. There's more games coming, man. We got another one coming March 30th. But so this game day lineup comes out. I'm not even paying attention to my phone because so much is going on around us, right? I don't even look at the lineup before it's announced in the stadium. But we see it, and it's somewhat what we mentioned, a couple changes from what you predicted. Any surprises here?
Yeah, for me, and I guess it wasn't two surprises for me. One of them wasn't a surprise when they released it because we found out prior that Claire Hutton would be starting. But I would have not guessed that, but she started as a defensive mid.
18 years old, correct?
18 years old. Incredible.
Wild.
And then Gabrielle Robinson started along with Elizabeth Ball. I kind of felt like maybe Lauren would have started. She didn't get a ton of minutes towards the end of the Gold Cup, so I thought she might get the start. But nonetheless, Gabby Robinson got it. So good for her.
Yeah. Gabby, she put in the work last year. You know what I mean? She worked to get better. She put in a lot of freaking minutes where she probably didn't think she was going to get those minutes. It's time to start doubting her, or stop doubting her, sorry, because she's getting time there, you know, and we also wondered if it's kind of giving like Lauren and Balasagar, couple breaks, that they were on international duty, right?
Right.
So that could be, but we'll see how the lineup takes place. Sponstra, she started, which was great. We thought she ended the season very well last year and must not have missed a step in preseason, as she's still in the conversation. I will say, where was I at? A sad note happened here later, man, is what we don't know any updates on Dabinia, do we?
She was, I guess, like a midweek kind of evaluation. I will say that after the game, she was running around, she was kind of dancing, she was having a good time. So I don't think it's anything major. Probably precautionary. She put in a ton of minutes at the Gold Cup, traveled quite a bit. So it was probably one of those things she may have come off at half anyway. But with that, no need to push on your first game. So
yeah,
I don't think it's anything serious. I don't know if she plays against San Diego, but I don't think it's anything to be concerned about in the mid to long run.
Dabinia is the flashy pick if you're picking like your favorite player on the team.
Yeah.
She gets things done. She's the dirty midfielder, as in like doing all the extra stuff, the hard work. And I want to jump into this whole game. I don't want to break in between it. So we're going to break right now, and we're going to come back and break this down bit by bit. So stay right there.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
Chris, we might have listeners from both podcasts. Jimmy went into his experience on No Other Pod a little bit about him being there, and I'm going to want to talk to you about a couple of things he told us. But we did talk a little bit about going to a little VR place. We did a little VR escape room. Did you have a good time? Was that fun for you?
That was fun, man. It took me a little while to get used to the VR, like initially.
Yeah.
But I've done VR. I've done escape rooms, but I've never done a VR escape room.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely different.
It was fun. Like the very beginning, they start us out in like 4 different rooms, and we had like a puzzle to solve on our own to get out of this room. And I remember Marissa was out first. Like she just had it. Jimmy got out second. And this makes sense. Those are 2 of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
So what are you trying to say? Go ahead and finish the story. Finish the story, and then tell me what you really mean.
I wasn't last, bro. I wasn't last. That's all I'm saying. No, it's one thing to be good at video games. It's one thing to be good at escape rooms. Put the 2 together, and it can be very weird to get the mechanics and stuff down. So I don't blame you at all. But once they realized how to solve the puzzle, like I didn't get it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in here. There's a torch. There's slides. But we were all waiting together, the 3 of us in a room, while you're just in this secluded room trying to get out and join us.
the guy who works there was like, you guys might want to help out the other guy.
He did. He goes, if you guys, you can share and talk to him and tell him how to get out.
To be fair, like, you know how when you have a boundary, like the VR shows you if you're close to like the wall. It did not show that for me at all. So like I would go to reach for something, I would hit the wall. It would tell me like step back. I would step back and hit a wall. So like I constantly didn't know where I was physically, but
just actually walking. Oh
yeah, I would move to grab a bow and I would just hit the wall. I'd be like, so.
Hey, first time, dude. Would you do it again?
I would absolutely do it again.
It was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
20 games. So if it wasn't kind of in Kansas City and it wasn't such a commute,
yeah,
I'd go quite frequently.
Look, there's at least one more afternoon KC Current game I could think of that might have to go double down over there, because $30 for one of those, like I think that's cheaper than some escape rooms that we've done before. Just a fun way to spend an afternoon.
Hey, and we got through it. We escaped.
Yeah, so I love the teamwork aspect of it. Like there was literally no challenge you had to do on your own. Like you had to work together, and that was cool.
Yeah.
So, buddy, we had the Portland Thorns come into town. Cam from Modern Family's out there. Eric Stone Street talking about how it's going to be a 3-1 victory for the Current. The man was almost correct, by the way, until he wasn't, and it just got off the rails, banana shit crazy. Dude, this was a 5-4 victory for the KC Current. I'm torn because on one hand, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. We scored 5 goals. That's amazing. And we got the victory. We beat Portland Thorns, one of the best teams in NWSL year over year. But then we let them score 4. But I'm not too mad about that because at the end of the day, I'm like, it's Portland Thorns, one of the best teams year after year. So the fact that we still scored 5 on them is 1 more than 4, and it worked out. I want to ask one thing before we break down these goals. Is this something that Vlatko will address, or will he be like, listen, it's the first game. We're not going to be mad about letting in 4 goals. We're going to celebrate our successes and take away that we just beat a NWSL Cup winner, man.
I'm going to give you a bad answer. I'm going to say a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because he will absolutely address the fact that we gave up 4 goals. He would not be a great coach if he didn't. But those goals, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, there were 3 of the 4 were phenomenal individual efforts. Phenomenal. Yeah. The 2 Sophia Smith, I mean, you could give her a millimeter of room and she has a chance. And that's exactly what happened twice. Janine Becky, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, she hit that ball towards the outside of the box, or from the outside of the box, upper left corner. You know, few keepers can get that. It's just so hard to stop that. So I don't think it's something that's concerning, but it's worth trying to fix the things that led up to that.
Yeah. Agreed, man. I'm looking at their score chart, and they only have 3 listed on the scoring. They had 4 goals, 2 from Becky and
from Sophia Smith.
2 from Smith. They don't have listed on their recap here that Sophia Smith scored twice. They took 1 from her. Little miscount there.
Buddy, was little shade.
Started early, man. I mean, we were aggressive. We were going forward. Every time we went forward, every time we passed the halfway line, everyone in front of us stood up. And I'm like, oh my God, we're just passing the halfway line. We're not even in a scoring opportunity. Why are we standing up all the time? What is this, a KU football game? Where everyone stands and sits, stands and sits, stands and sits. I sound like an old bitch. I get it.
Dude, I don't know if you noticed real quick, but there is a group of older people in front of us.
Are they
right? Older than us.
Okay.
And they would stand. And they would stand for anything. And then like we would have to stand, and then people behind us, it would just
it's a chain
domino.
Reaction.
It's a domino effect. And like I don't know if I'm just being an old asshole now, but I'm like, stop standing. Like that is frustrating, but I get this good action.
It's like, let people have fun the way they want to have fun, but sit the hell down. Like, I'm like, I try not to be.
Some of them weren't standing. So It was just them starting it. And I felt bad for the people behind me. But,
because I'm a large dude. So I'm like, well, here we go. Now people are going to think that I'm the problem. And I swear to God, I'm not the problem. But every time it passed midfield, just standing up. And I'm like, will you at least wait till they get to like the opponent's box? Okay. We're in the midfield right now. Okay. This is not serious. Anyways, we're rolling, man. And in a 22nd minute, Dabinia jumps on a mistake from Portland's defense. Finds DiBernardo. We're DiBernardo guys. We get it. Find her. Where was she? Just right in front of the empty net, man. For her to just easily tap it in.
Well, I think Dabinia took a shot, and it just took a deflection right in the path of DiBernardo. So DiBernardo cleaned that up. But
which is great. That's how the best goals happen sometimes, is being in the right place at the right time.
That's going to be an answer to a trivia question one day. You scored the very first goal in CPKC Stadium.
Hey, it's in your will.
DiBernardo, yeah.
Write it down, dude. DiBernardo, who didn't even really play much in her first year for KC Current, and now starting her second year on the right foot. Really, really exciting stuff.
By the way, her reaction was infectious. She screamed like she just won the lottery. Like she just ran around. I haven't seen that much like jubilation in a face in a very long time. It was probably like relief, excitement, all the above. But to see her that happy as a DiBernardo guy, I absolutely loved it. I wish the guy running the screen, the big screen, would have known. But
listen, let's hit that side note because someone running the scoreboard
again, this is small stuff, but
small stuff. And I'm not sweating the small stuff, but I got to mention it. And it might not have been noticeable for some people. Some people are just like, whatever, you know, but like the clock started counting down from 45, like it's some college soccer game. I remember Jimmy heard someone in the press box, like on the phone, like he eavesdropped, and someone was like, the clock needs to count up, not down, and they were just trying to fix it, probably scrambling, getting their head back on their shoulders. But then what'd the scoreboard say? They didn't give the credit to DiBernardo.
Yeah, I had Bia. It showed her like celebratory graphic.
Yeah.
So
now I'll tell you, I can't keep anyone apart. By the way, I don't know who's who out there. For one, I think we have more blonde-haired women on our team than ever before. Where I'm just like, you guys are messing with me. I don't know who's who. There's a lot of blonde women. I don't get it. And then DiBernardo, dark hair. Zenerato, dark hair. I'm like, you're messing with me. Stop it. I need you to get these names right because I'm going to lose it. But, dude, if you think we weren't celebrating that first goal hard enough, they said, hold my beer. Because 2 minutes later, Ellie freaking Wheeler, you're like, who? Who's that? Yeah, draft pick. Gets a shot off right in transition at the top of the box, man. Was it right outside the box?
It was inside, but it was bouncing towards the top. So she ran up on that thing, and you know as well as I do, when you play soccer, you get a ball that's rolling at you, your instinct is to go blast that thing as hard as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Right? That's your instinct. But she ran on that and then just put it hard and low, kept it down hard and low, went right past the keeper.
She stayed over it. She had every mind to like blast it over the goal. That shit happens.
But good focus, right? Good awareness, good focus. Put it down on frame. What a great start for a rookie right back.
First professional goal for Ellie Wheeler, straight out of college, right? Also, I'm seeing this here, 400th player to score a goal in league history.
Wow.
Kind of something neat.
Fun stat.
Yeah, go down to the 400th player. Pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
Dude, so then we're up 2-0 on the Portland Thorns. Feeling pretty freaking good right now. We won another one, just like the other one. We won 3, And boy, oh boy, we just kept going. Because then Brazilian forward, Bia Zenerato, got her first goal in a KC Current uniform, which DiBernardo was like, I'm not on the stat sheet enough. I'm going to have to get an assist as well. Goal and assist, why not? So set her up, and Bia puts it away, man. I like Bia. I think she is strong and physical, and it's going to be fun to watch.
She's only been with this team for a handful of days.
Is that right? She wasn't like preseason?
I mean, I don't think she got much of a chance because the Gold Cup happened shortly after.
True. Yeah.
Shortly before. So, I don't know. I'm speechless with her, man. Like, even before that goal, she had like 2 shots that she was dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, she can do the hold-up play. You can send it through, and she's fast enough to run on and make a play on the ball. Like, she can do it all. She's tall. She's an aerial threat. Man, I can't say enough of for what she has done so far. In 45 minutes, in one half.
Yeah. She
was dangerous, and you had to respect her. You couldn't just put one player on her. You had to bring another center back to help. She's absolutely
man. Some ladies who have played that number 9 role, Kristen Hamilton is a notable name who started out on the bench at this game. Michelle Cooper has been up there in that role, who is out with an injury, which is probably not what you want for your first game at the new stadium.
I did not expect that, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw that come out. I was a little surprised, but
sad deal. We'll keep an eye on that, see what happens. But it's 41 minutes in. AD Franch made a couple great saves, too, in this game. She cannot go, that can't go unnoticed. She was not the reason that 4 goals were scored, that's for sure. But we're up 3-0, dude, in this first half. And then they get one back right before halftime. And you got to think that felt important for the Thorns to get one before halftime, kind of start that attempted comeback. But, dude, when you're watching a soccer game, 3 goals is usually enough to get it done. Like, weren't you feeling pretty confident dropping 3 on these fools?
That was the most dangerous lead in sports is up by 2 or something like that.
By 2, sure. Yeah. So we cracked that and made it 3, and you're supposed to be feeling good.
Yeah. Real quick, Sophia, man, like, how are you not in awe watching her? She had very limited opportunities. Very limited, and she makes the absolute most of every single one. And on that first goal, I don't know who poked it away from Lowe. Lowe got the ball, and she thought she had more space, and somebody came through her back, poked it away, went right to Sophia Smith. A couple touches from Sophia. 2 defenders closed in, and she put it between 2 defenders, the bottom left post, man. Not many players in the world can do that from outside the box.
She's fascinating. We were talking a little bit before the game how I'm sure she's just loving the opportunity to play villain.
Yeah.
She's like, if you need me to be the antagonist in this story, I'll be it. It feels like she loves being that. And she really bides her time. You watch her off the ball, she's not killing herself. She's saving her legs for those right moments. She's saving her efforts for the right opportunities. And then she pounces, and it happens so fast. And you're like, wow, that's an MVP right there. She's kind of good.
When you think like there's no chance you can get a playoff, like this is not a threat, before you know it, the ball's in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's one of the best players in the world right there.
Yeah. I mean, she's wonderful, man. She's a blast to watch on USA, but she's a terror to watch against your favorite team.
Yep.
So it is what it is. Second half comes. This place is popping, by the way. We are bumping. The 12,000 fans are just losing it, having a great time. Pyro was cool, by the way, at the beginning of the game. Tech 9 did like a whole ass set over by the supporters group, just like rapping in these supporters' faces, and the supporters were just getting it, dude. I thought that was kind of awesome.
The Mahomes KC baby chant was probably the loudest I've ever heard.
That was pretty wild. Brittany Mahomes got on there, and y'all, thanks for coming. I forget that they're from Texas sometimes until they start talking. I'm like, yeah, they're from Texas. And then Mahomes gets on there, man, and he's all cool and stuff. Why is he so cool?
I don't know.
He's the coolest guy.
It should be unfair. You should not be that cool. Nobody should be that cool.
Yeah. He gets on the mic, and I'm just like, swoon.
Like, no big deal. No big deal. He's the best KC baby chant of all time.
It's ridiculous.
We need Kelsey to lead that thing.
Oh, listen. We need Taylor Swift to lead that thing. Would you lose your mind? Would the internet fucking break?
Every women's soccer fan on this universe,
it'd be wild.
Would shatter excitement.
I don't know if that stadium is set up to protect her. It feels, it's a little smaller. I don't know how you would even get her places without being swarmed. It would be a wild time.
You'd have to get her in there before people could even have access to the stadium, essentially.
She's been transported in many containers in her lifetime. So it would be very funny. Just, oh, nope, this is just a box of soccer balls. Nothing here, nothing to look at, just a box of cleats. Anyways, man, second half starts. Labanta's putting in a pretty good shift, by the way. Doing her thing, drawing good contact when she needs to, beating people to the ball. Just kind of picking up right where she left off. But Timwa Chawinga came in this game, who I'm like, okay, we don't know much about this person. We do know that she scored the most goals out of any player, male or female, last year. That's wonderful to hear. So you're like, cool, this person knows how to score goals. Turns out, she also knows how to whoop a little ass. She also knows how to be one of the most physical people I've seen on a women's soccer field. Or maybe even a men's soccer field. Because I saw her playing and I was like, listen, if she was in a men's game right now, I would not fear anything. I feel like she could go toe-to-toe with most of those guys. But what'd you call her? You called her a little bulldog.
Yeah, I mean, she's like a bull in a china shop, man. She's fast. She's strong. We haven't got this, been able to see it, but presumably she's very technical and talented. Lowe, after the game, said we've only seen, 75% of what she can do, which is absolutely incredible. And what I love, the effort, she does not, you have a ball that's going to the keeper, right? And then most players will kind of let up, let the keeper get the ball and, hop over him or something like that. Not Timwa. No, sir. She made that keeper make a mistake.
Yeah.
And even the next goal, by the way, she had a hand in it. So
That's that scary gray area, by the way, when you're going at a keeper that's coming out to get the ball. You're right. A lot of people do pull up because you don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
Two, you don't want to get a foul and get sent off because you stepped on a person. But it was right in that fine line where she did not make contact and the ball got fumbled and freaking Kristen Hamilton, man, subbing in, being a little super sub, making this game 4-1. We talked about this and how Kristen Hamilton could be a very vital sub. We said we don't think she'll get starting minutes. But boy, oh boy, she came on and made a difference. Because without that, we lose this game. Because Thorns ended up coming back and scoring 4. So we're just rolling, man. It's now 4-1. How do you feel about Kristen Hamilton's input? She came in for Dabinia, right?
Right.
In 30-something minutes. So she did good.
Yeah, she did great. Yeah, she came on, I think, as a right wing and replaced Dabinia. Zonorado was up top, and at half, she got moved to that kind of center forward position. And then Pfeiffer came in on the right wing at half.
Played the whole second half.
But I was very impressed.
Sub, right? Planned sub, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ahead of time, they knew Zonorado playing a lot of minutes with national team, probably just going to give her a half.
Right. Yeah.
Makes sense. Alice Pfeiffer, dude, 16 years old. What the hell were you doing at 16, my guy? This is insane to me.
I was probably playing Halo on the Xbox.
Listen,
doing absolutely nothing.
I was definitely up probably late night getting Taco Bell, playing Super Smash Brothers or something,
What impresses me about her, and we'll talk about our girl in a minute, is that with the under-17 national team, she played up top. She played the 9. She played on the left side as a left wing. Right now, she played on the right wing.
It did.
Talk about the versatility. And she put a cross, by the way, before that goal. She put a cross that just went right across through the box, man. Nobody was on that backside. But
that's picture perfect. That's when every other player on that side was like, fucking should have been there. That's my bad.
And I've seen her do that from the left as well.
Really?
Yeah. In the under-17 game, I've seen her do that from the left. So how insane is that? How insane?
A lot of times we look at these soccer players, these full-grown adults, and you're like, I just love these people. Just love them to death. Really admire them. Having a hard time admiring a 16-year-old in that competitive sense. I'm just like, this woman or this child is out there beasting these women. And I'm here for it, dude, because she became the youngest regular season goal scorer in league history, which obviously makes her the youngest goal scorer for KC Current as well. To give us a 5-1 lead in the 68th minute, man. And that's, I don't know. Does she get our toast of the match for coming in and not having any kind of nerves, just coming in and crushing it as a teenager?
Well, I love what Lotko said. He's like, you're in the best situation possible. You can't mess up. Just go out there and play. And that's how he mentally set her up to come out there and compete. I do have a different candidate for the Holiday Distillery toast of the match.
Okay.
You want to get to that now or after the wrap?
Let's do it right now because you got my candidate, and we're gonna pick best. We might even have our producer pick the winner because it might be a tie.
I'm gonna go with Vanessa DiBernardo.
Okay, why?
First goal in the stadium.
Yes,
she had an assist. Once she came off, I feel like possession kind of fell off, and then through Fought Mob, she was the highest rated player for the Current. So yeah.
When you back your pick with stats like that, you got to say it. So there it is, folks. Holiday Distillery toast of the match to Vanessa DiBernardo. Right here, that's cold Irish cream. Pour one out for her, dude. She's amazing. I mean, it's. I would love to speak with her. I'm sure this is a comeback season for her after her concussion symptoms last year. So it's going to be she'll be fun to watch for sure.
Just goes to show you whenever she's on the field, good things happen. And by the way, last year when she was on the field, she was one of the highest rated players for the Current whenever she was able to step onto the field. So this is not an anomaly. She's just that good, and we just have to keep her healthy.
Gotta keep her healthy, dude. Protect her. Put her in a Pope-mobile box when she's out and about. It's very serious.
Whatever you're doing to Taylor Swift, give her that kind of protection.
Yeah, give her that treatment. Make her walk around in a giant air bubble or something. Just very safe, very safe. A lot of times, dude, the best teams, there's a best midfielder behind those teams. Someone being that maestro, the orchestrator, the conductor, making things happen that aren't the flashy things, but that lead to flashy things. Whether it's a great recovery run or a middle pass to set up a secondary assist or something. And that's what Di Bernardo is going to be, man. You might not even always see her on the stat sheet. It's nice that she was this time, but she might not always be there. But she's going to do the things that matter.
She's one of the cogs that makes this whole team operate as successfully as it has.
A big cog, absolutely. I'm not going to shy away from the Alex Pfeiffer thing. I will definitely look for her to get more minutes as we come on. But if she's a second half sub like that and she's torching the Portland Thorns defense in that way, getting crosses, being very quick, I was like, she got them young legs. It's just torture, dude.
It was like a corner and the ball bounced off of somebody and she hustled her ass off and saved it from going out.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. One big theme, we'll talk about this at the end, but one big theme of this game for me was effort, was hustle. I got a bunch of examples in my head that we'll get to, but one thing that shouldn't go unnoticed, by the way, was Chawinga. That goal by Pfeiffer, that cross came in, she chested it down to Alex Pfeiffer. And Pfeiffer ran up, and a lot like Ellie Wheeler, had the presence of mind to not blast the shit out of it, keep it down, keep it hard, give it a chance.
Yeah.
Give it a chance. And, that was essentially the game-winning goal. That was
amazing.
The last goal we had. So
True. Yeah, she hit the game winner. You're up 5-1. And I'm like, let's go, baby. Take it home. Let's go have a good time. Nothing bad could happen. Nothing bad could happen to make me question anything. But Portland was like, we will not go quietly into the night. They were ready to celebrate, dude, because they came back. They scored 3 more goals. And we're, one happened here, and Casey Curran's like, it's fine. We're good. It's 5-2. Then another one happened. They're like, relax. It's 5-3. We still got this. Then the fourth one happens, and it's like, you better get shit together. You all are going to lose. You're going to lose this 3 points. They're going to come, it felt like we've seen this story before. I was like, oh no. Like, we know how this goes. This feels really bad. But at the end of the day, man, they were able to get it done. And that's exciting stuff.
Well, let's take a quick look at these other 3, because we talked about the Sophia Smith one. The second goal, Janine Becky, cross comes in, right? Cross comes in, just takes an odd deflection off of a head and goes back post. 2 things. Number 1, I think Ball might have been one of the players that was in that area, so they need to be better about getting that dangerous ball away. You cannot allow a ball just to go back post. You would hope a defender's back post to help clean that up anyway, but we have to do better about clearing that ball when they come into the box. But Credit to Janine Becky, she was right there. Franch, how can a keeper... Franch turned around, was in a place to make a play, but that ball came in so hard. Not much Franch could do.
She was so mad. She was like pretty frustrated.
Yeah. So our center backs need to do a better job of clearing that ball. But that was the only one that I look at that I'm like, we could have done so much better on that one.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Center backs have always kind of been a question for this team. We've always talked about Elizabeth Ball, but then sometimes she may not get back fast enough and something happens. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how you fix the defensive issues, because there are issues. You did allow 4 goals. That is something. Your goal differential could have been +4 after 1 game. Instead, it's +1. And that's not much to write home about. I do know that we are in the standings. I believe we are 3rd with right? Aren't we 3rd?
Yep, we are 3rd, right behind Chicago Red Stars and North Carolina Courage.
Yeah,
That's
something we're not used to after the last year. So we'll take it, man. It just feels... It was a gorgeous day as well. 62 degrees, I got to tell you.
A little chilly, by the way. That wind was rough.
It was. I was like, God dang, did I really need an actual coat out here? Because I thought I'd be fine with this hoodie. Did you see your fan pic? Did you zoom in and go to that link?
I was taking a picture.
I know.
My phone is right in front of my face.
You and Vanessa both.
Yep.
Me, I had a face on like this. It was like a face like, should have got more to eat. Those are cool, by the way. I didn't know that was a thing that was going to keep happening with those fan pics. I don't have a link for you guys to go find that. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can go to KC Current's socials and find that. And how'd you find it?
It was via email. I was emailed.
You got emailed?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I probably got emailed too and just didn't pay
It was
attention.
in my spam folder. So
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
What's that about? How do you keep something from going to spam?
you know,
Do you have to like add it to your address book or something?
my season ticket member rep for sporting will email me and it goes in my spam no matter how many times I tell Microsoft Outlook they're not spam. So I don't know. I don't know if you have to add them to your address, but I don't know.
That happens, man. I've had some real stuff in spam that I'm just like, okay, I understand all the ads and like porn spam coming. It goes in there because you're like, no, I'm not going to click on sexy singles or whatever. No, but like the stuff I need, the stuff I clearly read all the time in my regular email, why is it just all of a sudden going to spam?
I don't know.
These are the real questions here, folks. This is what we're really here to talk about.
Big life questions.
Yes. Dude, they announced the attendance at 11,500. I think that's incorrect, right? Because there were some standing room only tickets as well.
Yeah, and then there has to be more.
Yeah.
There has to be more than that number.
I don't know how. I mean, maybe they just don't have a way of counting that. I mean, I know even at Sporting, when it is a sellout, which it only seats like 19,000, that they announce the attendance at like 20 or 21,000 or something, and you're like, whoa, okay, definitely standing room only because they only have this many seats. So I'm interested what their count is on that. Dude, that wraps up our game there. Do you like how Labonta dropped the mic at the end? Literal mic drop.
That was pretty. How clever is she? In the moment, improv, just mic drop. That was perfect.
Yeah. As I know mics are different and stuff, but growing up, like doing performances and stuff, you're always told not to drop the microphone because it's bad for mics. So immediately I was like, oh, that's bad. You shouldn't have done that. That's why the sound didn't work.
Yeah. Lo gets to do whatever she wants.
She does. I worry about, there's some kinks, right? Some kinks to work out of the stadium, whether it's the clock, scoreboard operator, whatever needs to happen, because I think second half started. I think the clock didn't start on time because it was in the 88th minute and the side referee was throwing up stoppage time. And we're like, we're not even at 90 minutes yet. How did that? And then like a foul happened and they said that in the 90 or a goal happened. They were like in the 91st minute and we were still in the 89th. It was weird.
I mean, that really kind of helped take the anxiety off a little bit.
I suppose.
Well, yeah, because it's less extra time. But if I'm a player and I look up and I think I have 2 more minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe they know, by the way. Maybe they know on the field. I don't know. But like if I'm looking up, and I think I got 2 more minutes to complete this comeback to get a point. If I'm Portland, I'm probably pretty pissed.
Yeah.
But you gave up 5 goals. So,
they should be pretty pissed. They gave up 5 to a team who was at the bottom of the league last year, but we've stacked our team, buddy. Our bench is crazy. Our bench, I have no problem with anyone that comes off, man. There are people we didn't see. Would have been cool to see Izzy Rodriguez in there. Maybe a little defensive. I don't know. Probably should have stacked the defense a little better at the end to not have all those goals.
They made a sub in the 88th, by the way. So,
Sager, right?
Yeah, Balsager came on. So when you're up that much, maybe I don't want to be that guy who's like, take your foot off the gas or bunker in. When you're up 5-3 or something, the one thing I did notice on one of those goals is that we were already up by a couple goals. And when they hit us with a counter, we had 4 or 5 red shirts still on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
We do need to get back on that. But again, it's really hard to harp on those 4 because 3 of them were just so brilliant individual efforts. But, at the end of the day, we got it done. We got the win. And a couple things really stood out to me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take over. But we'll talk about the depth in a second, because you're right. Like, the fact that Chawinga came on later, insane. The fact that Claire Lavage came on, who was all up in people's ass, by the way. She gave them no time. So you can tell she was itching to get back on the field. She was so much fun to watch.
She was.
But the fact that you can bring on these players, Pfeiffer, Lavage, Chawinga, you can bring them on, and you still have Nichelle Prince, who didn't play. You still have Michelle Cooper. This depth, you bring a couple national team players who are on the bench still. You could bring in at center back. Izzy Rodriguez, who I think is one of the best up-and-coming left backs in the league, on the bench. It's absolutely insane. This depth is absolutely insane.
Yeah, man. It's
You said it was a problem. And it was a good problem to have for Vlatko.
Oh,
but
sure.
When you see it on the field, to me, it hit differently, right?
Yeah.
When you see what Chawinga brought, when you see what Pfeiffer brought, when you know you have in Cooper and Prince who weren't able to play. That's absolutely
what this means, I want to see them get some kind of form down. I want to see no changes in roster construction as we go forward. I want them to have a good flow. Like, hey, so-and-so is going to come on for so-and-so in the 60th or something. Like, that's just what works. The best teams have that structure. And I think we can really get to that structure. I think we can have a proper starting lineup. I don't know. I don't know if Michelle Cooper factors into the starting lineup. I don't know if she needs to. What are your thoughts there?
So,
she's like the future, right? She's what we traded up to get.
And Vlatko likes her as well. He talked about her, her creativity when he came to the Current. So I don't know. And that's the thing is Vlatko can do so much. I don't want to be switching things so much to where you can't predict who's going to play where and what tactics you're going to use. But, obviously Debinha is going to be on the field no matter what. Claire Hutton, by the way, played as a number 6, as a D-mid. Dude, she 18 years old, absolutely balled out. She was the second highest rated player on the team, by the way. She leads the league through week 1 in successful tackles. And when I watched her play, I was taking a couple notes on my phone before I got into the game a little more. There was a couple moments where she hustled back to prevent a counter, or she hustled back to take up space. She was everywhere. She was absolutely every time she cut off passing lanes, she attacked players on ball. She did so much work that, she's getting a lot of credit from other media, as she should. She did an incredible job. But the question, to your point, is, do you take her off?
Yeah.
Do you bring Debinha back in the midfield with Lowe and DiBernardo and put Cooper back at the right wing? I don't know. She played exceptionally well. I don't know what you do. But the fact is, those are good problems to have.
No doubt, dude. It goes... Also, we'd be remiss to mention that possession, Portland had more. It was 53 to 46% possession. XG, though, this game should have been 2-1 KC Current. Expected goals were 2.3 for KC and 1.3 for Portland. Definitely not a 5-4 showing, which is just outrageous. Which just goes to show you a lot of these goals hit were very low percentage chances. A lot of goals that were made, which is nice. That shit wins games, man. Hitting the stuff you probably have no business hitting, some Galazzos outside the box and whatnot. Sophia Smith doing Sophia Smith stuff. It's exciting. I do want to mention one thing that Jimmy mentioned to us. Sorry, I'm making myself laugh. He was up doing an interview in the box with Jessica Berman was there, the NWSL commissioner.
I see where you're going.
Oh, there's a lot of reporters around, and they're talking to Jessica Berman. Apparently, they're doing this right outside of a family restroom, right? Like one that's just like a single-use family restroom issue. And the interview's going on, and some lady comes out of the bathroom and is just in the middle of this interview. Boom, in the middle of it. And she just looks around. and closes the door and goes back in. I just thought, how do you keep a straight face if you are doing this interview right now? Like, this woman's in there in the most vulnerable of places. Like, no one wants to be on the toilet hearing people talking outside. Like, no, don't listen to me. I'm vulnerable. Just hilarious. I feel like maybe that needs to be fixed. Maybe interviews don't take place outside the bathroom.
I think it was because of the wind was so bad, like where they planned on doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have done anything different. If I walk out and I see cameras pointing at me walking out of a restroom, I think I would have walked right back in and just waited it out as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I would have cheesed it a little bit. I would have been like, what are we doing? What? Am I on camera?
Just get out there and start answering questions.
Just being like, I did wash my hands. But can you imagine? Now, this woman probably thought like, oh man, they heard me flush. Oh man, they heard me pooping. Like, very funny side note. Shit, man. Do you have anything else to add on this game?
I do, man. One thing that stood out to me was the effort. You could point out all these players individually on the effort they made. Mace was hauling ass up and down the side. Hutton was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But I think what allowed us to win was the effort. I'll give you a couple examples. That Debinha effort to try and steal the ball from the keeper. DiBernardo, the effort to follow that play. Ellie Wheeler running up on the box, right? You're a rookie. You might be a little nervous to get beat coming back. She made the effort to run up there. So a lot of defensive effort as well. Chawinga forcing the issue with the keeper, just pressuring it with the effort. Hamilton running up behind her, not giving up on the play, following through. Just a lot of hustle, man. And I feel like, I don't know if the soccer gods were in our favor this game, but it felt like the effort we gave may not have been what we needed last year to get those chances. Those 50-50 balls that we won this game, I don't know if we got them last year. I don't know if it's effort. I don't know if it's what Vlatko's preaching, but the players responded. They didn't give up on anything. Pfeiffer was chasing loose ball. Like, everybody gave a ton of effort, and it showed. In my opinion, yeah, we scored 5, we gave up 4, but that effort was the reason we won the game.
Yeah, I agree, man. And shit, I mean, what a challenge. Portland right out the gate. And the challenges do not stop there, because we got to go to San Diego this Saturday. San Diego's played a game, but not an NWSL league game. Played a Challenge Cup game, which, who cares? It's not a real Challenge Cup. Well, I will not acknowledge it as a real Challenge Cup. It's fake. You're going to take it from me and then say it's still a thing? Absolutely not. But they have no record right now, but they're still San Diego. They're a good team. Alex Morgan, always doing Alex Morgan things. Had an excellent header last week at this Challenge Cup.
She had a good Gold Cup, man. She's been in good form.
Yeah. Gold Cup. Had to wear a new number in the Gold Cup and everything. Just very outrageous career this woman has. And she's doing the mom life, bro. Taking her kid with her to like all these interviews and stuff. Just double duty. I love it. I think it's so cool. You don't see that in men's soccer like at all. You don't see Tim Melia having his girl on his lap doing an interview or something like that. Just not a thing.
It's special. It really is special.
This game's at 9:00 this Saturday, 9:00 Central. We'll be driving back from the Sporting game because they have a home game as well. What do we expect from San Diego, man? I mean, if you just went toe-to-toe with Portland and put up 5 goals, who's to say you can't go into San Diego's place and do more of the same?
It's going to be a tough matchup, man. For me, Jaden Shaw is a problem. She is an absolute problem. She had a great Gold Cup as well. She's grown leaps and bounds. Every time you see her, it seems like she's better. Naomi Girma, one of the best center backs, probably the best center back for the U.S. or in the NWSL. To me, defense travels. I don't know how our defense is going to travel to San Diego. So I think offensively we can keep up after what we saw. Defensively, I think it's going to be a struggle. But, we proved we can beat anybody, right? And we look great doing it. And everybody competed, everybody contributed. Let's just bring that same energy and give it all we got.
This will be a moment in time this season right here. I mean, dude, these two teams back to back, we're playing them. It's crazy. It's almost not fair. But if we go into their place, Snapdragon Stadium, great stadium name, by the way. If we go in there and do more of the same, I'm convinced we're a great team. If we go in there and lay an egg, now everyone's going to talk and say, okay, that Portland game's a fluke. Maybe Portland's defense is just bad. It'll be interesting. This is kind of a put your money where your mouth is situation. Like, how good are you really? What's the strategy coming in? I'm excited.
I think we're going to have to be more composed. Like, those goals came, and they weren't a surprise, but they kind of were because we didn't expect it right out the gate. But we're going to have to clean up some of that sloppy play and just limit their chances, man.
Limit their chances. You can't be letting in 4 goals, that's for sure. And scoring 5 a game is not sustainable. It's not going to happen. It's just not a thing. And if it is, then hell yeah, let's go, brother.
Yeah. In the Wave, in the Challenge Cup game, they beat Gotham. Pretty decent team, obviously, good team.
Yeah.
So, if we can get, I'll take a road point, right? You come away playing Portland and San Diego. If you come away with 4 points, that's a successful, couple games right out the gate. And then we'll play LA on the 30th. They changed the time to 2:30 Central, and that's a winnable game. I just watched them play Bay FC, so that's a winnable game there. I don't know, it's early, but you're kind of starting to see how these teams are.
Yeah. I think they've changed that match time, by the way, to put us on ESPN again. I think they see this atmosphere. I think it's an infectious environment, and I think it's media friendly as well. And ESPN's like, you know what? Let's just flex that one single hour so we can put it on big ESPN. Yeah, that's wild, man. That's crazy. I love it.
And to me, this will show me a little more about Vlatko, right? Like, I'm sure he's had the lineup and he knows what he wanted to do in the first game. By the way, a quick credit to him for compartmentalizing everything, because there's so much going on. National media opening the stadium, everything that's going on. It really seemed like he kept it focused on the field.
Yeah, real focused. Here's a yellow card for your troubles, Vlatko. We noticed it. That's where close to the match should have went. Vlatko.
That should have been a red. Like Chewinga, forced. Hubley grabbed her jersey or arm. Yeah. And that was, it was a yellow, but that should have been a red. Should have been
dogs, though, right?
Yeah, last player, Chewinga would have had to play on the ball or on the goal. Again, that's showing what she can do, forcing the issue.
Did you watch it back? Did you watch that play back on video?
I did not.
Okay, I didn't either. So, I just saw it in real time. I don't know. Maybe there was something we weren't seeing. But there is VAR for that kind of thing, too.
Yeah.
And they chose not to review that. So I got to assume we were just wrong, or the referees are just really incompetent, I'm
going to go with option number 2.
It's because we're not wrong. We are men.
Yeah, no, it's to me, it was obviously a yellow. I don't know if they didn't deem her, as being the last offender. I don't know. But either way, Chewinga force issue. But this game will show me a lot about Vlatko going away, playing a good team, kind of what he's planning on doing, especially with the depth that we have.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Gonna be interesting. On that note, let's wrap it up, man. Let's hope we get a win this Saturday. I'm not gonna make any predictions, but I think we can go down there and really stand toe to toe with these guys. Just did it against Portland, and why not against San Diego? So, cool, man. Anything else to add?
No, this was a confidence building win, man, and we're starting to see a little bit of the character of this team. So
character.
Absolutely.
Cool. Folks, hit us up if you want to do anything. If you want to tell us anything, knowotherpod@gmail.com. If you want to get on this podcast, you got some thoughts, some storylines to talk about, we can get into it. At knowotherpod on socials, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Hit us with those reviews on Apple Pods and Spotify. And until next week, with hopefully another KC Current Victory Pod. We love you so much. Snoochie Boochies.